All right, we are now live. Hi, I'm Kira858, and today we're here for episode 8 of Riverwood Academy. So once again, of course, here at the Cookout, we always like to give love and support to different individuals in the community. Shout out different channels out there, so you can go ahead and give them some support um, and take a look at what they're doing. First, we would definitely like to give a shout out for as a good friend of ours. His name is the Bear Pen. Um, he also known as Adrian B. He actually has his own Twitch channel as well as his own YouTube channel. On the content, you will see things like Blood in the Bayou, which is Vampire the Masquerade. You will see D&D content, and he actually just announced a new show coming up actually this Saturday, so I can finally talk about it. Called this is based off the City of Mist, which is kind of like a noir version of with superheroes in it. So I'm super looking forward to that. Anything superhero related, I'm definitely diving in. So go ahead and give him a follow and support him on their endeavors. The second group we'd like to give a shout out for is actually currently streaming at the moment. They are known as Hunters Entertainment. They are a fantastic TTRPG variety stream show that leans towards the horror content. So you'll see major names like Markia Bacardi, Melee Damage, Michelle Nguyen. You'll see Luis, I think, from LA by Night. You'll see so many different and well-known individuals, and they're a great show. They have regularly been giving us love by sending us raids, and we always appreciate it. Actually, one of the community managers for Hunters Entertainment is on the Bear Pen show, Blood of the Bayou, known as Alex Redeye. So definitely, if you can, go ahead and give Hunters Entertainment a follow and support them on their endeavors. And last but certainly not least, we'd like to give a shout out for is a new show that is starting to appear by the DM Aliza Pearl, who's actually on Lords of Faerun. She has a show called Slay, which is a aliens improv show that you actually could see on YouTube as well as on Twitch, on Fridays. It's an excellent show. The quality is great. The cast, you can tell like they feel like actors. Like, there's a difference. Sometimes TTRPGers are, we have fun, we have a great time, but then you also have individuals that kind of step into the form, and you can tell right away, like, those are some actors. They're currently working in Hollywood. That's definitely the type of feel that you definitely get from this Slate show. So if you can, definitely go ahead and give them a support and give Elisa Pearl some support and on her content. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and go down the list of our cast. Unfortunately, one of our members was not able to make it today, but Mimsy, I hope you're having a great time with your friends and family, and we look forward to see you on next Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and go start from the top, working with our good friend, Ursa. Ursa, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects that you're working on, and plug your socials.
Hi, Captain. I'm a good friend. But hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Ursa Ringer. Y'all know me in chat. I be everywhere, especially messing with this dude. I already did it in chat. As far as projects, y'all can find me on YouTube and on SoundCloud. I do bad music, but I actually just recently released a new track. I see your eyes. I just recently released a new track and worked hard on it, and I might be releasing a new one soon. So that's me.
So when he meant to say a bad artist, he meant to say a fantastic artist, because he has done the last 3 tracks for our TTRPG shows. He is absolutely incredible. If you join our Discord, you can see he released this track. I think it was called Something Villainy, which has such a fantastic feel. It was great. It had like this Final Fantasy / hip hop feel, which was perfect. So yeah, like I said, join our Discord, join his YouTube content.
There we go.
Yes, there we go. He's popular on music on the regular. So next we have our DM, Aaron. Aaron, would like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects you work on, and your socials.
Hi, I'm Aaron, or Wonder Attacks, or whatever I am on Discord. It changes fairly regularly. Today I am a sleepy DM, which I think is a dangerous DM, so I'm looking forward to see what happens next. Don't forget, if you do join the Discord, you can also join Zach's one-man mission to promote Ursa's music creation every single day.
Every day.
It's been working. He's been working me out.
It's gorgeous.
Oh,
It is gorgeous. So yeah, we don't need a danger DM because Mike only has 10 hit points. Going down to the bottom, we have, of course, our good friend Ree. Ree, would like to talk a little bit about yourself, plug your socials and your projects you're working on.
All right, of course. Hello, everyone. I am at Big Dude Ree on the Twitter. Feel free to follow me. Sometimes I post funny content. I am also playing a lovely, charming silver-tongued bard on the Lords of Faerun. You should definitely check us out on Saturdays. And today, I am fully expecting for hijinks and shenanigans to happen, but I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, we're literally right in the middle of a forest. Something is bound to happen. We already caught up with wolves. Who knows what else is around? And of course, last but certainly not least, we have our good friends, Fell Flames. Like to talk a little bit about yourself, plug your socials and your projects you're working on.
Hello, my name is Zach. You can follow me on Twitter at ZHaloMusings. In addition to my mission to get Ursa working on his music, you'll also find that David Dobrik has returned to the internet. That's something. This is going to be nothing like that, but it's still going to be cool. So yeah, Rivenwood Academy, let's go.
Let's go. As for yours truly, I am Kira858. Of course, doing here for Rivenwood Academy. We, of course, have our brand new campaign that we just started, which was a great success called Lords of Faerun, which stars actually Ria's in it. We have our DM, Lisa Pearl, Melee Damage, Adria B. It's just a great cast overall. We also going to be having a new project, will be coming up in the near future. However, it will be exclusive to YouTube. So we definitely will keep you up to date on that. Definitely looking forward to it because it's very different than what I've normally been doing. As well as also within the near future, we will be getting back into the art streams because things has been slowly getting back to normal. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for yours truly. So with that said, we're going to go to our intro video and for episode 8 of Rivenwood Academy.
let's go.
Micah, Ardris, Meaty, Calvin, Otis. Behold the spellbinding abilities of Rivenwood Academy.
All right, and we're back. So with that said, there we go. It just took a few minutes for the transition. So with that said, Aaron, take it away.
So when you left Rivenwood Academy yesterday, maybe you didn't quite know what you were going to see. After a bit of travel during a kind of rainy and foggy morning, you helped some strangers with a broken axle on their cart and eventually ended up in Silver Lake Wood. Silver Lake Forest or Wood, whatever I'm calling it now, is a very beautiful forested area, and it's felt, I think for Otis in particular, it felt very welcoming and like a homecoming kind of coming in. You did some good job on your way through, picking up some of the supplies that you're looking for, because you've been sent to get 4 and possibly 5 different items for components for the school. And then some of you found the Waypoint cabin or cottage, and some of you decided it was a good time to go talk to some wolves about a thing. And where we're picking up today is the aftermath of that. So after Jorhan and Micah's tussle with the wolves in the glade, we open up to an evening that is now starting to darken again as clouds are rolling back in. Drizzle is set in. The door is opened to the main room of this Waypoint cabin where Ardris, Miri, and Otis had been. And in the doorway, you see a Zorhan looking mostly untouched, and Micah covered in blood. What would you like to do?
Sure, on what happened. Micah, are you all right? And he's going to go over and begin to see if he can check the wounds, make sure nothing's infected or particularly gruesome.
Otis will help. He's like, oh my gosh, kid.
Because Otis is helping, roll it with advantage, please.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Oh, let's go.
Ooh.
21.
Ooh. Yeah, so you go into your little kind of like Sherlock moment where you're like, your brain goes completely buzzing about here's all of the different ways all of these injuries happen. Like you map it out in your brain, like, here came a wolf bite and here came this and that. As you look, you don't currently see any signs of infection. With a natural 20, I'm gonna say, Micah, go ahead and roll a hit dice for free, just one.
Okay. That's a 6. Okay.
My boy is a doctor, dog.
He is now.
Okay. That was.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was a 2.
Okay, well, you for free, you get 2 hit points back right now.
Yes.
And you do not see any signs of infection or poisoning that would cause more damage.
All right, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
No mortal wounds.
If there is any pieces of fabric around, he would start to cut those up and basically make makeshift bandages. He will. We don't have any.
I mean, there are emergency supplies here, including there's like a healer's kit that has bandages.
You know, Otis is proficient in medicine. I'm just.
I rolled the natural.
Hey, too late. Dr. Ardris is on the case, man. He can call you in for a consult. He's already got down as a primary physician. It's fine.
Well, dang, if you don't want guidance.
Oh, yes, he will pull out the first aid kit to get bandage wounds. What exactly happened while you two were gone?
Michael would kind of look around at the others, looking at Jorhan and say, "Wolves, hungry.
Yes.
Not nice."
Yes. I believe what Micah is trying to say is that we were accosted by some wolves as we were looking for the other components that we haven't found any pieces of. Well, he made a very light-hearted attempt to distract them with some meat that seemed to draw their attention to him, and I rather struggled to get them off of him. Fortunately, he's pretty talented with magic and blew all of them up with some ice. I've never actually seen that spell before.
Otis's jaw just drops after hearing that.
Micah, go ahead.
Well, the headmistress and professors will be very unhappy to see what has happened to Micah here. But I suppose that's troublesome for tomorrow. You must rest for the rest of the evening.
Micah kind of nods and then he looks up at Jorhan and then back at the group and says, Why wolves mean? Have food, but they bite me.
Yes, that is not mean, so to speak, Micah. It is, as my father would say, a desperation brought on through the madness of need. The wolves were most likely very hungry, and as a result, they were desperate, and when you distracted them, they attempted to take as much as they could.
So, what do next time?
Generally, avoid drawing their attention. If you have food or whatever it is they need, place it down slowly. Move away from them without making yourself a threat. And if worst comes to worst, you defend yourself with everything at your disposal.
Otis clutches Micah's shoulders and go, or yell for help. Did you think of that, kid?
He looks, he says, "Oh, yeah? Yeah."
It's kind of like what I'm doing right now.
Oh. He pauses, kind of looks around. I could try.
So, I understand you are quite the quiet type, as they say. For you, it may be better to use a bit of a flair. My father taught me this when I was much younger. I am privy to the firebolt spell myself, but any spell that is particularly showy or flashy would use, and just fired into the air above you. That way, anyone for a considerable distance would become aware that something is wrong and should come to your position. It's only to be done in situations where you are very in need of assistance, because it will also draw the attention of unsavory types if they may be around.
You're smart.
Thank you. You know, my God, it is a pale comparison to my father.
Thank you.
Otis
He looks
shouts,
over at-
"Move!" Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
He looks up at Otis and will say, "Thank you. Well, at least Jorhan safe."
Yes, Johan is
Yeah.
safe.
All of my distress is entirely emotional at the moment.
Well, Otis is gonna actually shove Johan out of the way if he's still in the doorway, unless they walk completely in. Like, what is our orientation, Aaron? Where
No,
are
I'm
we?
imagining you're all in the main room of this cottage. So if you remember correctly, there's a door, very high ceilings. The main room has the
Fireplace and the beds.
and then
Yeah.
to the right there is the kitchen, and to the left there was the room that Artis went in that has a large bed in it.
Right. So Otis is actually gonna shove anyone out of the way who's blocking the door and walk outside and try to scan and see if there's any more signs of wolf or threatening wildlife.
All right, make a nature check.
A nature check. Okay.
You're very literally looking at nature. I cannot think of what else you'd be rolling here.
That's fair. Perception, but
If you would prefer to roll perception, you will get different information.
it don't
is up
matter.
to what you want.
It don't matter. I rolled a 3. So,
Okay.
So that's a total
which one are you
7.
rolling?
that was
Which one are you
nature.
rolling?
That was nature.
Nature. All right. It is like walking into someone else's house where you know there's a bathroom, but you don't know where it is. You are in woods, which you are comfortable with, but these are not your woods. So you're having kind of that moment where you're looking around and you're like, all right, I can hear the running water. I can I see the trees. I know there's this kind of animal, but you don't know like the web and the ecosystem to be able to get good information about it.
That's fair. Yeah, Otis doesn't have anything like alarm or anything like that, so he'll just huff and then go back inside. Well, I don't see any right now.
You that is very true. You did not see any wolves right now. Now, for Micah and Jorhan, this is your first time coming to the building. Is there anything that, like, what's your game plan right now in terms of, are you resting? Are you exploring? Are you securing? What are you trying to do?
Micah will look towards the others and say, need more, right? Need more components?
I believe we are in good shape, at least for now, especially with the sun falling. It is smarter to wait for the evening and reach the first light in the morning.
Okay. In that case, he's just going to. Is there like a couch, or what is the layout of the location?
Hit me with a perception check so I can see how much you notice.
Okay. Oh, I don't think I rolled a perception, but you shall see. Oh, 15. 15 plus 20. 20 total.
Nice.
Mhm.
So in the main room where you are right now, so behind you is the door to get in. It has a latch that you could lock behind you if you want to. And directly in front of you is a currently empty fireplace, but there are cords of firewood stacked indoors, so it would be easy to create a fire if you wanted to. There are like furs that are specifically used for like blankets and covering. You could lay down on the floor if you wanted to sleep in this room.
Mm.
On one wall, there is a large map. And then you can see the doorway to your left and a doorway that is maybe now open because R just went there to your, or sorry, the doorway to the left is one that R just went to, the doorway to the right. And this room has no windows except for the one that is up near the rafters above the door that you entered.
Mm. So, fortunately, Micah doesn't need to sleep, so he's just going to go to stay in the main living room, to the so you could be able to have a look towards the door. And whatever the main location is, he's just going to essentially kind of like do a rest up to just recover.
All right, so Micah is short resting right now for healing
Mm-hmm.
or getting ready for a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about Jorhan?
He is currently going around and inspecting the various possible methods of ingress and egress.
Okay. Cool. So do you want to go counterclockwise? Do you want to go up to top to bottom? Where do you want to start?
I think he would probably typically, by habit, go to the northest point, which he intuitively knows, and go clockwise from there.
Okay. So when you enter the door, you're facing kind of northwest. So north is there's nothing there, and you're wanting to go clockwise. So the next door is the door to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go in there, or are you just trying to scope what you can see from the main room?
No, he would go in there because he doesn't care about the interior. He's going to the exterior point.
Nice.
Mm.
All right. You can see there is a window in here. So if you needed to, it looks like it's not the kind of window that naturally opens, but you could bust it if you needed to for a way to get in or out. Roll me. Well, you tell me, what are you doing in this room? Like, are you just taking a glance, or are you wanting to investigate? Are there any skills that you're trying to use for this task?
I would maybe place it under investigation, but to give you sort of like an idea, imagine how like someone who's trained against ambushes in the special forces, or like a detective would
So you're
try
doing
to
a very
familiarize themselves with I'm basically trying to get the full layout of the cabin, but
all right.
focusing
Roll
on
investigation.
the interior and exterior. That is a 13.
13. All right. Other than that window, you don't see any ways in or out of this room. It looks like it is stocked with emergency rations, not like normal cooking supplies. But if you needed to cook in here, it would be fairly easy to start the wood burning stove. It's got a couple of like supplies that have been left behind. But other than that one window and the door that you just walked in, you don't see any other ways to come in there.
Okay.
Heading back into the main room, there's the door that you came in, which you can see it's got like one of those bolt latches on the inside that kind of rests flush against the door jamb.
Mm-hmm.
So not the strongest if someone was trying to break it down, but it would stop anyone who was casually trying to enter very easily. And then the only other thing you see is a window up, and it's up like 15 feet, like because there's tall ceilings in here. There is a rafter beam that goes kind of in front of it. So if you wanted to climb up there to see it, you could, if you had a way to climb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, you have not rolled an investigation check in this room. Go ahead and roll me one and see what you see.
15.
15. Okay. 15.
Pretty average roll so far on my new die from Die Hard Dice.
Yeah, I think that with a 15, we can come back to some of the more specific stuff in the room later. You don't see any other methods of entering or leaving except for the door and the window.
For the record, he would probably post up by the kitchen window.
Okay, there is one more room. It's got a window that is currently covered with a curtain, a super large bed that like literally everyone could get on. It's like a California King or whatever. A writing desk that Arjos has already looked at, but you don't know that. And a little trunk at the end of the bed.
So he'd probably investigate that too then. You want a separate roll?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because I did roll separately and that's 20, which is pretty good.
Natural or dirty?
Dirty.
Okay. When you come in here, you can see that the window can be popped open. This one does, it like slides up and down. Right now it is latched in like kind of a locked position, so from outside you cannot open it. You do see in the trunk there is a pair of boots, a belt, and some extra blankets. I was trying to remember what I said was in there. Some extra blankets for the bed. With your investigation, I'm going to say that as you're walking in here, you're like, okay, I've seen everything in this room. I see the writing desk. You don't get anything new off of it. I see this trunk. And something in your brain is saying, I missed something in the last room. So this is my way of giving you advantage on the previous roll. So as you head back into the main room, try it again.
$21.
Nice.
Nice.
I like
All
this
right.
die. It goes up. We're matching our 10 and a 12 and a 17.
It is leveling
now
up
an
in
18.
skill just as you do. Yeah, as you get in, you realize that the fireplace, which is currently empty, there's nothing in it. There is like a small latch on the inside, and as you compress it, a door opens that leads directly to the back of the house. So this is a quick way if you needed to get out, because there's only one main door. This is a quick way you could get out. And from the other side, there's no way to enter in. With that investigation check, I'll also talk to you about the map that's in this room.
Okay.
So there's a large hand-drawn map up on the wall. It's pretty large, and it shows the Silver Lake Woods in a fair amount of detail. Now, it is hand-drawn, not like a cartographer's map, so the scales are not exactly right. But it shows you where the Waypoint Cabin is. It shows you the road you came up. It shows you like the glade where you found the willow bark, and on it is written in several different hands. Here's where you can find this. Here's where you can find that. Like it's got a bunch of different components labeled so that now that you have seen this map, you can go looking for exactly what you want.
Nice.
Is also a missing corner to this map. So
Oh boy.
the top right corner, something has been removed. You don't know, it doesn't look like it was necessarily cut out. So maybe it was an accident, maybe it was always like that. But there is a section that is not there.
How large of a section?
It looks like
I'm talking, like, are we talking about like 1/20th proportionally of the map, or like?
Yeah, like 1/15th. How do you like that?
1/15. Okay.
1/15th of the map, and it's just that.
I'm going to
upper
write
right.
that down, and I will hold you to that forevermore. That specific proportion of the map.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You are in 14th, 15th territory. I cannot help you any further. Yeah, so you do now have, in the morning when you decide to go collecting things, you do know exactly where to go to get the rest of the components that you're looking for. I think that's the main thing that you get out of here, out of this room. Well, actually, you got a 21. I'll give you one more thing. It's really hard to see. You would not notice this normal. But there's like kind of a discoloration to some of the stones in the floor that you're not sure if it's like a normal wear pattern, if there was something that was laying here before, but you do notice just like, some of these stones like are a little bit lighter or a little bit darker than the ones around them.
That is interesting. He will point out the escape route and then mention the discoloration, but he's going to try to, this is where you cue the like math meme where it's just like the numbers going everywhere. He's trying to keen mine their like path for tomorrow morning to finish filling each of the bags in the most efficient way.
Nice. I will remember that.
So you're just like spending, 10, 15 minutes right now figuring that out.
Ardris and Otis, Jorahan has told you this about like there's some discoloration on the floor. There is the map that he's currently staring at. You now know about the secret way out if he needed it to go. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna lock the door.
Ardris is locking the door. Easily done. Done.
Right. Well, I believe we are here for the rest of the night. Micah, I would suggest you take it easy. Perhaps stay mostly in one place. I suppose out of all of us, Otis, you are the only one that needs to sleep. Forgive me if I am incorrect about that. So I suppose the main bedroom and bed is yours?
As Otis, I know we all kind of examined the whole space, but I don't think Otis ever got a good look at that room.
Which room?
The room with the giant bed.
Yep. If you want to tell me what you're doing, and I'll tell you how to roll it.
Well, first of all, where is Azarath?
Azarath's up in the rafters. That's a great question. I should have thought about that earlier. Azarath is up in the rafter near where that window is. So just kind of perched up there.
All right. Let's see. She's within earshot, so I don't have to get fancy with it. Otis will use a spell slide and cast Speak with Animals. And start talking to Azarath as he heads to the big room. He's like, "You see that, Wrath? We get a nice bed, even out here."
Flies down. See that? Nice bed.
And then he goes, "Listen, Wrath, did you see anything unusual about these woods? Everybody's kind of on edge. The kid got attacked by wolves."
Moment. Unusual. These woods.
Is that a question or a statement? Out of character.
Because everything that she does is mimicry. When you ask it in question form, you're going to hear it sort of with that questioning lilt, regardless of her intention. So I don't know that you would know.
He's known this bird for a while. So
yeah, but it's not a familiar. It's not like, it's just a bird. The bird can only tell you so much.
The issue is that it's intrinsically ambiguous, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, this bird, man. I love her, but this bird, man.
The fun part about mimicry is that Otis may have figured out that you can kind of like hack the game a little bit, right? Because if you say things in a non-mimicking tone, like within quick succession, or a non-questioning tone, they can either. Because there's like, it's almost like a short memory card, right? For mimicry, the recent sounds.
That's why I picked her, but I'm gonna stop. So, Otis just goes, "Well, did you see something or not? We're trying to survive here."
Or not. Survive. Here. Actually, I take that back. Or not. Here.
Otis scratches his afro a little bit.
She was with you.
I mean, well, I assumed that she was up in the rafters. She had been there for like a little while, so she might have seen something through the window way up there.
I mean, from the rafters, like it's a short clearing, the direction that faces until it gets into wood. So they were not close enough that she would have seen the wolf thing going down anyway.
All right, that's fair. Well, let's just go, whatever. And then he'll just head off to the bed.
And she kind of like flies down next to your pillow and is like, whatever.
I love that bird. So yeah, that's what Otis is doing. He's going to start his long rest.
Nice. Anything else anyone is doing as we get into long rest territory?
That discoloration doesn't look odd. There's not like a pattern or anything to it. It's just like wear and tear on the floor.
Tell me what you want to do to figure out the answer to that.
Can I investigate it? Yeah, I think either investigate to like just kind of see if there's any patterns with it, or if there's any like arcane symbols in it. So we could I don't know what it would look more look like.
Okay, start with an investigation check.
I wish you would have told me, dog. You could have asked Otis and he would have given you guidance. He has guidance.
18.
18. So as you're looking at it, you kind of get down on your knees. You're looking at it really close. You don't see, it doesn't look like it's been painted or like necessarily been like, it's weird because in certain sections you're like, this looks like a very clear curve, but it does not look like someone has like put down paint or charcoal or done something like that. With an 18, I'll say maybe you get the idea that you are too close to it to see if there's a pattern.
Really odd. It almost looks like there's some sort of pattern here. Do I get the feeling that if I moved horizontally, I'd be able to see it, or do I need to look up from above?
You get the idea that you probably need to go out. Just based on how you've walked the house before, you haven't noticed anything yet, and that's the one direction you haven't gone.
Rohan, do you happen to have any way of seeing above here? I don't see there any ladders or anything, and I could either use a bird's eye view, so to speak.
He's still kind of like looking at the thing, and he's like, no, I'm tall-ish, like 6 foot. I suppose we could try to see if we can give you a boost up there, maybe?
Perhaps we can pull some of these chairs over, and he'll move over and start pulling chairs or any boxes over, basically making a stepping stool, a ladder.
There's a table that you judge would probably be, like carrier weight that you could get up on and get a little bit more height.
Okay, on the table.
Also, while that's happening, Micah would cast Detect Magic just to kind of take a quick look around, just to make sure if there's any magical essence either at that appearance or somewhere around.
Where are you in the room?
It would be
like, are you in the kind of western corner by the fireplace in the map, or are you in the middle of the room?
I would say more towards the middle of the room, because that would be closer towards the door. Okay. I'm presuming, right?
Yeah. So in the middle of the room, here's what you get. There is a ring on your finger. There is a ring on Ardris's finger. There is a ring on Jorhan's finger. There are a couple of magical items that you've seen before on various people, like, arcane focus and that kind of thing. Ardris also has something in his pocket or in his bag. There's something new that you have not seen before with a detect magic on him. But other than that, everything else in the room seems to be mundane.
Okay, and the
floor is just floor. when you sense it.
Gotcha.
I thought you were talking about the water wheel because I saw this.
Oh no. I was thinking of the design. I was like, okay, I'm imagining the design, but I can't think of the word of the design. So
he used the detect magic, right?
Yeah.
There is something small, giving off an evocation aura inside of Jorhan's pocket.
Interesting. Okay. Kind of nods, keeping that information to themselves because he presumes if they wanted to talk about it, they would. He's not the type to pester, but he just keeps that in mind.
You know what it is, Aaron, or do you want me to DM you?
Can you DM me just to make sure that I don't
Yeah.
have it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of on that table. Just pay good attention, just in case the table isn't quite as sturdy as I hope.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Okay, so you hop up on that table. Roll me a perception check from up there. Also, Micah, I'm sending you a DM.
Oh, okay.
15.
15. You can see that there's some of a pattern to it now. Like, you can tell that there's something going on here. From the table, you're not getting like the full picture of it, but you are starting to see, that right there, it looks like an actual line. You know what I mean? It's not a, it doesn't look as random.
There is some sort of pattern here. And he will pull out one of his blank notebooks and begin to sketch the portions that he can see. That way he can compare it to other things later. If
Nice.
he comes across it again. And once he finishes, he will... this is becoming quite interesting. Is there anything you two need before we will settle in?
Micah shakes his head and he says, "No, watch door."
What about you, John? I don't think he can hear me.
Oh, did we lose him?
Jorhan, what are you doing? I know you're staring at the map, but like, what's your plans?
Sorry, I was planning our route for tomorrow. You said something about a door and watch, something?
Yes, well, I will leave that planning to you. I believe that is more your speed. There is a writing desk in the other room. I'm going to be using that. I have a few things to go over, as well as an odd image, apparently, that is in a part of the floor. So please do not go off by yourselves. If something happens, let me know. Enjoy the rest of your evening, I suppose.
Good night.
Thank you. You as well, Micah.
So just so I know what everyone is doing, Otis is conked out on that bed.
Mm-hmm.
Ardris is in the same room at the writing desk for now. Before you you're going to work on some other stuff. Jorhan has been route planning. Where is Jorhan going to spend the rest of the night?
Taking one of the extra blankets and his bedroll that was provided to him earlier by
Elliot,
yeah. And he's actually going to sleep by the kitchen window.
All right. I figured you'd probably be in the kitchen. All right, and that leaves Micah in the main room, kind of in the middle of the room, keeping watch. Now, I will tell you right now, you are healing. So part of that is that you can't be like doing high alert stuff. So you can keep a low level watch because you're having to heal. You will be somewhat distracted.
Oh.
So if you are planning this as an actual watch, you will need to arrange for some coverage with your people. Or if you're just planning to heal and you'll have a low level awareness, that's fine too.
Okay.
Because like basically, although you do not require sleep, you cannot go like, at a full run forever.
Oh, yes.
You have to stop at night and like take that because you
Excuse
are
me if the mic
injured.
picked that up.
It's all good. Because you're injured, like you're having to focus even more on your like internal body versus your external surroundings.
Okay.
Which I mean, the door is locked. People are in different places. There's nothing to say that you cannot do what you're doing. I just want to give you a heads up.
Yes.
It's something that you would intuit from your lived experience.
Makes sense. Yes, and to be honest, he wouldn't really know about like I need to go ask somebody like, hey, can you watch this for me? Because he's always by himself. So he just does everything by himself. So it makes sense.
Cool. What are you doing to distract yourself, or are you?
Michael will probably be recalling about the Wolfsovitz, just to recap everything that happened during that time frame, understanding, taking, of course, Ardra's words into account. And from there, he's going to try to think about like some of the studies that he had about the forest in general, just so he could be able to be better prepared for tomorrow. Because he kind of feels like he probably should have known about this, and the fact that he did it was weird to him. Like, did he forget this? Did he didn't study about this? He was like, it was kind of like trying to figure out where did that mistake come from? That perfectionist mentality that, of course, his mom kind of like pushed on top of him was kind of like taking reign at the moment.
I'm going to give you a flashback really quick. So as you're sitting there, you're collecting your thoughts, you're getting there. Your mind is pulled back to as you're coming across that broken axle cart, as you were starting your journey out of Cormac. You remember Zorhan had found you a flower and had suggested that maybe you need to keep your memories so that you know all of these places that you've been. And Mary's kind of been giving you these new memories. And then you flash back just a little bit further to before you left your home, your mom had given you a small leather-bound journal and had explained to you that on many of my travels, I find that just keeping down what I already knew really helped me to see what I need to do next. And honestly, it's very nice to look back at now. Just a thought. So there's no expectation from her that you're going to come back with a full journal. But if you would like to spend some time kind of consolidating your thoughts and maybe putting a couple sketches or that kind of thing, I think that would be a good way for Micah to process the day.
Yes. I think that's probably a hybrid of both, because you can tell that he's definitely an artist per se. So he'll try to draw some of the events that he recapped, as well as kind of like channel a lot of his thought processes in place. And it definitely feels very logical when he puts it in, much different than the way he speaks, almost like very robotic in a way. But he can definitely tell that even by doing that, it does seems to help a little bit.
Nice. Okay, so you are organizing your thoughts. Shorhan is sleeping. Otis is sleeping. Ardris.
Ardris will he will spend the first 4 hours doing his trance, recovering, and then after that he will begin to examine the book by ritually casting detect magic, identify, and he's just going to read it.
Okay. So you trance first. You kind of come to yourself. It is the dead of night. It is very dark, so I assume that you're going to light a lantern or something to give you some illumination as you work.
I assume there's like a candle or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this place is designed to be somewhere you can hole up. There's absolutely this kind of thing. So as you kind of come into your fuller awareness, light a candle and get set up, pull out the book in front of you, and make me a performance check.
Yo, that's nuts.
Hey, that was the last row I was expecting. I was like, okay. Performance.
It was what? That makes sense. So you didn't realize it earlier because like as you were trancing, like it didn't really come to your awareness. And before that, things were kind of busy. You were focused on other things. But you now realize that like in the back of your mind, almost to the point where you've started to hum it without realizing it. There's been kind of this melody going in the back of your mind. And it's got like, I'm afraid with a 5 performance, that's all I can tell you is that there's this melody that like you just kind of notice it's in the back of your head. It's not forcing you to do anything. It doesn't feel like it's compelling you or anything. It's just kind of like almost like you've heard a song at some point and now the hook is in your head. You don't recognize it just yet because it's not a very good reproduction of the song. But like you can tell there's something, and it feels like if you could figure out the song, you would figure out something else. But it's that frustration thing. It's like, where have I heard this? And you don't have, magical Shazam to like hold it up to the phone and try and figure out what it is. So it's just kind of like, well, you've got this small melody just kind of on a loop in the back of your head.
This is certainly very odd. But no matter, I should focus on what I'm doing. And then he will take a just pause for a minute to make sure he can't figure it out. And then he will continue with his rituals.
Okay. Tell me the order that you're doing this.
Detect magic and then identify.
Okay. You fire off detect magic. This is your new day. So you're spending spells on your new day, not your old day, because you transferred.
Yep. But it's ritual cast.
Okay. On detect magic, you get a faint aura of evocation. It is not like, I think that's what you get out of it, actually, is you see a faint aura around it and you know that it is evocation. Around you in that room, you do know that in the trunk there is something that is giving off faint. I assume this is evocation as well. Let me double check it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, evocation. There is something in the trunk that's giving off faint evocation.
He is going to go over to the trunk because he checked it before. Just going to see if he can figure out what it is that is magical.
All right, with your detect magic going up, no roll necessary for this. You move those the blankets and the boots and the belt, and you do find at the bottom there's a very, very small lantern. It's about 5 inches, 6 inches tall, very, very, very small. But at the bottom you can see there's kind of like this dial. It does not seem to have oil or a wick that you can see, but it is giving off that evocation.
Have I seen anything like this before?
Roll an Arcana check.
You got this.
24.
Nice.
Let's go.
So, because you have been working on enchanting items, you are aware that items can be enchanted with different spells. And as you look at this, you're looking at that bottom where there's that dial, and you can now see, as you get closer to the candle that you had lit, on the bottom, somebody has inlaid ruby dust around the inner lip of the base of this thing, where that dial is. And it's quite clear that someone has enchanted this very tiny lantern with a spell. With a 24, I would say it's ruby. I don't think you have the spell though, so you might not know exactly what it is.
I'll go ahead and cast Identify on it.
Okay. When you identify it, you can tell that this is a lantern of continual flame.
Nice.
Once you turn it on, it lasts until you turn it off. It has the same brightness as a torch. It does not create heat. It does not use oxygen. It can be covered or hidden, but it cannot be otherwise extinguished, except for by the person who turned it on.
Very fancy. Well, better not disturb it. I don't think anyone would mind. That is rather dry in here. And he will take it over to the writing desk, and he'll turn it on if he doesn't think that the light would be too bright to asked to disturb Otis, then he would turn on. So I don't know how bright.
It
Yeah,
would.
no, it's slightly brighter than the candle because it's more of like a torch thing. But I think where you are seated, it's not like you're shining it in his eye.
Yeah,
And I will say,
turns on.
like the way that it is built, in addition to that dial at the base, there is like a shade that you can draw over the sides of it. So it's kind of got like that glass lantern feel. When you turn it on, there's just a flame that erupts in the middle that does not have any source. But there's like a shade you can draw to dim it or to hide it.
Okay. He will take a seat and turn his attention back to the book. Did I sense magic from the book, or was it fun?
Yes, evocation.
Then I'll cast Identify on it as well.
You know that this is a book. You know that it is a magic imbued object. It does not, well, actually, it does require attunement. It does not have any charges. The spell that is affecting it is unfamiliar to you.
This is
What can I tell you about that? You know that in order to create it, actually, I don't know if you know. You know that there were multiple different things that had to happen in order to create this. You would guess that the sending spell was part of that process. I think with your previous investigation roll and what you get from Identify, I think that's what you get.
well, this is very, very impressive. And he's gonna open it.
Okay. When you open it, it is leather bound on the outside. There's no title or embossing or anything like that. The very first page, you see the inscription that you read before. When you open it further, there's no title page or anything. The very first one is there's some sort of drawing on the first page, and then you flip the second one, there's a similar drawing. And you flip to the next one, there's a similar drawing. This goes on for 7 or 8 pages, and then the rest of it appears to be blank. If you want to try to figure out those drawings, I will need either an investigation or an arcana check.
All right, boys, here we go. Ooh, that's a 9 on Arcana check.
Ooh.
Okay. It doesn't look like any symbols that you are aware of. As you're looking into kind of these diagrams don't make any sense to you because it's not like something you've seen before. And when you look at like, well, maybe it's magical, maybe this is like spell components or like some sort of mechanism, you're not recognizing any of it.
This is odd. He's going to pull out his writing notebook and he's going to write down everything he has noted so far. And then he is going to pause before running his hand over the leather cover. Well, perhaps, as Father always says, fortune favors the bold. And he's going to try to attune to the book.
Okay. It takes 8 hours of having it on and near your person and not having to do a high activity for something else. So you can start that process now. I'm going to tell you, it won't be finished by breakfast. You can finish it by lunch if nothing else happens. But it does not have to go one in a row. Like if you spend a couple hours here and then the next night you spend a couple hours, it will also go.
Oh, that's nifty. Okay.
We will begin the process.
All right. Micah, make me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
It has begun.
So scary.
All right, that's not bad. That's a 10 on the dice and a 12. Okay, so 15 total.
15.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, that's it.
Morning has come. You have all finished your long rest.
Okay. So back up to normal. He looks around, kind of like looks around the group. Would I have seen Jorhan fall asleep?
No, it was in a different room than you were in.
Okay. All right, so I would start, checking out, because of course, once with the morning hits, again, he doesn't sleep, so he just looks at the everybody else to see what everybody else is doing, because he's not used to waking up in a group, and so normally when he wakes up, it's like, okay, it's time to go, but now he's like, oh wait, there's people here. I guess I should check and see if everybody else is awake. So he's going to start looking where everybody else is doing.
Joran, from your perspective, as you wake up, you are one of the only people who has access to a window to see outside right now. It is a gorgeous looking day. The weather is very nice this morning. It's a little bit cool because there's a breeze, but like the sun is shining. It feels like today's going to be a good weather day.
So Jorhan, when he wakes up, would have turned to the window, and he'd have like his spell book balanced on one knee as he's kind of like slowly flipping through to prepare his spells for the day. And on his other knee is the same mystery novel that he was reading when everyone bumped into him at the, in their room.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd see his back, and he's got like 2 books sitting on his lap.
Okay, so as Micah approaches, he'll come towards you and say, Jorhan?
Huh? Oh, hello, Micah. Good morning.
Good morning. You use time. Magic.
Yes, I suppose I know a little bit of this and that.
You...
Hey, do me a favor, Micah. Roll insight super quickly.
Okay. Insight. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's cocked. You can get 15 and 7. Okay. Oh, 11. Okay, 11 plus 3. Oh, 14.
Okay. He's being super truthful with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's like, so do you Kellen learn from teacher? Same teacher?
We did actually have the same teacher, although you could say that Kellen actually taught me most of what I know.
Well, it's nice. Saw helped. It helped.
I suppose I was really worried for both of us, but I was certainly worried for you once they all started to swarm you. That was a rather neat trick that you had. The ice.
Oh, thank you. He kind of pauses for himself because he noticed that there was always an affinity for dragons, but he always just assumed that it was just like normal. But then when he mentioned his reference towards a trick that he hasn't seen before, he says, like dragons.
It comes from dragons.
He nods.
Well, how would I describe? That's very, excuse my pun, but cool.
You gotta turn his head to the side. Pun?
Yes. It's like wordplay that tends to be kind of looked down upon.
Why?
You know, I'm not sure. We'd have to ask a linguist, which I am not. Do you know one?
Teacher. Communication teacher.
That is a marvelous idea. I'm certain that they would know.
Sounds nice. Cool.
Cool.
Mm.
You have a good evening, night?
Just write and draw.
Oh, what do you like to draw?
He kind of opens up his stuff, and you'll see, like, as he opens up his books, there's like a list of animals, as well as the event that happened last time. Like the tag event, you will see that would be like his most recent drawing that he did, which showed Miri himself and the kids running around in the forest. And as you start to go, he starts to show more of his content in the book. You will see a lot of drawings of his mom and like doing different things, from like reading books, doing studying different materials, even like a faraway drawing of her like in her office, like, you know, scanning over late night content. And then you will also see tons upon tons of animals, like that you probably, well, that was definitely around in the house, the school. So you could definitely tell a lot of the things that he tries to absorb around in his environment, he channels it into almost like a sketchbook.
You know what might be interesting, Micah? Some of these more landscapey, nature-focused ones. Well, do you know what a pestle and mortar is?
No. What's
People
that?
use it to make potions. But you could also use it to take some flowers and crush them up, and then you could sprinkle them into the ink. And when it dries, it would hold the crushed flower in the ink. So you bring like a little bit of nature and you combine it with the drawing.
Can you show me?
Well, sure. Although not certain that I have a pestle and mortar, but I'm sure they have one in your alchemy class or something. Surely they teach that at the academy. Yeah.
Mother teaches it. Oh, that's a big one. Mother teaches.
Oh, this is getting an FM1 class.
Well, there's probably one of them lying around the classroom, certainly.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Otis, I sent you a DM. Hey,
Okay.
Ardris, can you hear this conversation?
Probably not. He is tuning, so his focus is being completely driven by the book, so it's probably very hard to notice.
Otis, you woke up really refreshed today. Being in the forest has lifted your mood quite a bit, or at least it's given you a sense of peace you haven't had in at least a week, if not much longer. Like, there's something about being here that is very good for your, like, when you wake up, you feel refreshed in a way you haven't felt when waking up from sleep in a very long time.
He comfortable. I feel you.
Yeah. And when you wake up, wake up and the room is dark because the curtains are pulled. There is a lantern on the writing desk, and you see Ardris staring at a book.
What you doing in here? I thought I had the room. Otis shouts that at Ardris.
He does not respond.
I'm talking to you. He says that as he opens the curtains or attempts to open the curtains. I don't know what Aaron has planned.
No, it's super easy to open the curtains. Bright light does stream forward. Both of you would be blinking it out of your eyes because it's a bright, beautiful morning. And you went from a very dark room.
Well, I do apologize, but we did give you the room. However, there is a very useful writing desk here, and I want to get some last-minute reading and notes done. And then he'll begin to pack his things away, including the book, intending to take care of it later.
And Otis attempt to stop him.
Stop what?
Stop Ardris from packing away his things right away. Because he's going to be curious to see what he's reading.
Are you physically attacking him, or are you going to try to say something to stop him? Because it's very different answers depending on which one you choose.
He's going to go and attempt to place a hand on his arm and go, whoa, what you reading? This got you in my room like that.
Well, it's nothing much. The floor outside in the main room had a bit of a pattern on it, and I was attempting to see if there was anything around here. I also found an odd book here that was filled with images I didn't recognize, but I imagine it's nothing of significance. Probably notes for class. Hopefully it's something for the upper classes. That way I can get a bit of a head start on it.
Let me take a crack at it. Otis would like to see the book.
Sure.
Okay. Well, Otis would
There
open
is a
the
book in front of you. What do you want to do?
Open it.
You read Elvish.
Nope. I was hoping it was Druidic.
You open something, and on the inside page, there is something written that you cannot read. When you go to the next page, you see a series of drawings on about 7 pages or so. And roll an investigation check or Arcana.
They're both equally about bad.
Are you proficient in Arcana?
He is not.
Okay, make an investigation then.
Okay, you got it. Yo, what is going on today? That's a natural 2, so that's a 4.
Ooh. You look at these things, and Otis is not much of a theoretical person. And this looks like something that is it's like diagrams or theory or something, and none of it is anything that means anything to you.
Otis hands Ardris the book back and go like, I don't know what that thing says. That wouldn't keep me awake studying. I tell you that. Where's my bird? And he starts looking around for Azrael.
Azrael is doing loops.
Get down here. I gotta see how you doing.
Sitting on your shoulder.
So yeah, Otis is how he's gonna start preening her, kind of like how he did back in when he first woke up back at the academy in the dorm.
Sure, you're standing in the middle of the room, creating a bird. I got you.
Yep, pretty much. Making sure she looks good for the day.
Hey, Ardris, can you give me an investigation check?
Oh dear. It's 15.
And a performance check.
Oh dear. That is a natural 1.
Oh wow, we are struggling, Doc.
So on the investigation check, as the book is being handed back to you from Otis. So Otis kind of flipped through it really quickly and is handing it back. When he does, you're thinking about when you saw these diagrams, they're in kind of a dark red kind of ink. It looks fairly old maybe, or just you can't tell if it's the ink is red colored or if it's faded with some time, or because so much of it is just completely out of your wheelhouse. You're having a lot of trouble making sense of it. However, as he's flipping through, he flips through past those first 7 pages that have various diagrams on it. And you catch for just a moment before he shuts the book to hand it back to you that on the 8th page, there is writing you did not see last night.
Lucky you.
He is going to reopen the book as he is kind of absent-mindedly putting the rest of his stuff away and search for that page.
You go to the 8th page, and all you see in a pure dark black ink is a question mark. That's the only new thing. It's written fairly large. The ink is dry. It's not like it's wet ink or something like that, but it is very obviously not the same ink as what the rest of the book is written.
Curious. He is going to say in Elvish, I come bearing sorrow.
Ooh. Nothing happens. I want something to have happened because I like what you just did, but nothing happens. At least no immediate effect happens.
He is going to reluctantly close the book. I believe it is time for us to continue. With our tasks, we best not keep everyone waiting. Be very selfish of us.
I do what I want.
I'm very much aware, but we are still expected to complete what we were asked to do.
Fine. Let's go, Red.
So as you all regather kind of in that main room, you have a moment where you can talk about the various things that you've seen around the house or your plan for the day, because Zorhan has been looking at that map and kind of plan some routes so you can get all of your things. You know, you've got about a half day before you need to start heading back. You can play around with it just a little bit because you'll be able to get into the school, a little after dusk, no problem. But I think this is a good place to take a short break before we go into how you're going to finish off this day.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone who's currently watching the stream. Once again, we definitely appreciate it. If you like what you see here, we'd like to talk about the characters, what you're seeing in the stream, perhaps do some fan art, you can join in our Discord. The link is in chat. And we look forward to talking to you regarding some of the content that we've seen here. And we should be back in probably between 10 to 15 minutes for the second half of episode 8 of Rivenwood Academy. You do. There we go. All right, and we are back for the second half of Rivenwood Academy. Rivenwood Academy. Sorry, Aaron, take it away.
All right. So as you're all waking up, you notice that Mimsy was fairly quiet last night, and this morning she seems even quieter. She seems to be kind of wrapped up in her own head a little bit this morning. You've all met kind of in that central room for the cottage. What is your plan for the day?
Clarifying question for the DM. Would you say that Miri appears to be down the rabbit hole at the moment?
You sit in the corner, Zach. Sit all the way in the corner. Corner with you.
All right, that's enough for tonight. Go home.
Hey, Kellen. Or sorry, Jorhan.
Yes.
You have inspiration. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I reward puns in my games, so well done.
Gotta
Your
be.
second pun.
Or his
Hey, puns are like my bread and butter, and no one ever likes them. So when I get to do a game, I reward them. I did update Ardris a little bit when he was working on the book. He did see evocation magic. He also saw illusion magic on the book. I forgot to mention that in the stream. But to sum up what you know, you now have access to a map that lets you know where the components are that you are looking for. So it'll be fairly easy if you're following that map to get where you need to go. You do know there's a portion of that map that is missing. You know that there's discoloration on the stone, and you've started to kind of sketch out what it could be, but you haven't really gotten bird's eye view to see if there's anything else you could look at. You have, I would say you're starting. Y'all went to bed fairly early, so you're starting pretty close to dawn. You've got a good 6 to 8 hours before you need to be on the road back if you want to be back at the academy by dusk.
Otis, I have a bit of a question for you.
What?
Your bird friend there. Are you able to see what he sees? She or he?
She. And no, she's not a familiar or nothing.
See. There's something that is bothering me. You see, the fading in the cabinet, it appears to be some sort of symbol. However, I'm unable to see it. Though perhaps with some assistance, I could look from the upper window. Perhaps if we can find some sort of ladder or something on the outside. If some of you don't mind this momentary distraction, I must admit I've become quite curious.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you taking a look, but I could.
If you would be so willing.
All right. Let me see. Otis will transform into a rat using his wild shape.
Okay.
And scamper up the wall and see if you can get a bird's eye view from the rafters.
Sure. Make a perception check with the rat's perception.
What is that? +1, I think, for a rat on his sight.
I'll say because of the height, you can roll it with advantage.
I'm looking
for you.
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
Wait, I thought,
yo, that's garbage.
I thought wild shape they keep the wisdom and intelligence, right? I thought.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, in that case, you'll use your own perception.
Oh, good, because there we go. Because that's my +7. All right. Streets don't fail me now. Oh, they almost did. All right, that is a 23.
With advantage.
All right, well, let me roll again because that was a 16. Yep, we're definitely sticking with 23 because the other one's a nat 1.
So you scamper on up there, and with your beady rat vision, you're able to see that there is in fact a pattern to this discoloration, and you take some time to kind of get it firmly in your brain so that as you unwild shape, you'll be able to communicate it. So right now you can't communicate it in any way.
Right.
But it looks like it's kind of like an 8. So there's like 2 circles, one on top of each other. Inside the middle of those 2 circles, there's a line that goes from the center point that connects. And then on the outside, on either side, there's a slightly shorter line.
Ooh wee.
So there's
Okay.
like kind of a figure 8 with a line that joins the center of each of those circles, and then on the outside, 2 smaller lines that have kind of like a barbed end on both of them.
Okay. Now I can picture it. All right. So Otis will take note of that, memorize the symbol as best he can, and then scamper back down and stop his wild shape and let everyone know what he saw.
That's interesting. I need to pull out his book and continue scribbling based on what Otis said. But does it make any sense to me now?
Sorry, which book are you in?
This is just his blank notebook. He just basically taking notes and sketching based on what he said.
You can do, well, tell me, do you want to look at this at a historical point of view or a magical point of view?
Either way, take some
Definitely.
guidance, dog. Take some guidance.
Definitely. So Arcana.
Can I give him guidance, Aaron?
Yeah, you're aware of what he's doing.
Yep. Figure this out, Brainiac. And Otis is gonna tap him on the shoulder.
15 total.
With guidance?
Add
What's
that
that?
D4, dog.
Yep, I got it.
Oh, you did?
Plus
Okay.
3.
It does not immediately ring any bells for like some sort of magical symbol. You don't think that it was placed here as like a ward or a glyph or anything. It is unusual, so you feel that like you could probably do some research and find some more information because it's not something common.
Well, I can assure you it isn't anything particularly dangerous. Perhaps once we've returned back to the campus and I have my full notes, I can do a bit of a historical look, but it doesn't seem to be anything of concern, at least not at the moment. I suppose we should finish.
Just curious, would Micah have saw anything associated with this or correlation in his readings while he was in the library?
Well, tell me what you were reading while you're in the library.
Well, just last night you just read that the kind of like their version of the Harry Potter book, but he reads, of course, tons of
It's more Encyclopedia Brown because that's my favorite one.
Shout outs to Encyclopedia
More
Brown.
Encyclopedia Brown, but yeah,
I was a Nate the Great boy myself.
But yeah, he
saying, like you've generally read a bunch of the books in there. Does anything make sense? Make
Yes.
a history check.
okay.
I'm glad you didn't say boxcar children. Now I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I haven't thought about them naked.
I read a lot of their books. I read
Nah. Boxcar children. No, okay, I'm gonna stop.
And the Magic Treehouse. There was like 2 of your books.
That was 15.
Okay. If you don't immediately recognize the symbol from anything that you've read in the library. You have some ideas about books that you have read that would maybe have this sort of information, maybe that you could go cross-correlate. But you do also know that in the library, you've mainly stayed in like the main, like kind of the study area section. It's got a bunch of books that are commonly available to everybody, and lots of books that are more suited towards Micah's age. You do know there are other parts of the library that you've never seen.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible that there would be more information as well.
That makes sense. So Micah kind of looks over and says, "Library."
You better stop.
I thought the library would be quite useful. We can look into it together once we're back, if you'd like, Michael.
He nods.
Wonderful. Well, it looks like we have maybe 4 to 6 hours before we have to begin our travel back. I imagine here with this map, it shouldn't take too long for us to collect the last of our ingredients. So if you want to, we can stay here a little longer, perhaps cook some food before setting out.
Let's get the stuff.
Actually, it's going to be quite easy. We're just going to, and then he'll read off the instructions on their route for the morning.
Yeah, and no roll for this necessary. Using your like intelligence scores, like you have plotted a good route, a route that you think it will take maybe 2 hours to get everything that you need. So you've got a little bit of inbuilt extra time.
Should take about 2 hours in order to accomplish. Perhaps build in an extra 15 minutes for potential wolf attacks.
An extra 6 seconds.
And when he mentions that, Micah does cast mage armor on himself, just to be on the safe side.
Mike could just be like, "Oh yeah,"
You boop. Yeah, boop.
it's like a reflex,
Mhm.
like wolf.
Oh yeah, mage armor.
Shall we go? We can
Actually,
finish in 2 hours. We could be on the road soon.
Otis already opening the door, dog. Already opening the door.
Okay, cool.
The moment
As you exit the house and you begin to move through the woods to find your various things, first of all, tell me who is going to be primarily looking for the stuff? Is there anything else you're looking for? I imagine in the wake of having survived a wolf attack, you were maybe moving more cautiously than you did when you entered the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Argus is moving quick.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Micah is definitely paying closer, not really focusing on the components because he's assuming his classmates / group members is going to take care of that. He's definitely focusing on possible dangers ahead because he's definitely trying to make sure there's no more wolf attacks around.
Mm-hmm.
I will also cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
Otis is looking for spell ingredients, like he's picking up dirt, he's picking up some sleeves here and there, picking up some tree bark, picking up some dust, as well as looking for the ingredients.
Jorhan?
Well, to be honest, in addition to looking for the ingredients, Joran is looking for signs of wolves in the area.
Okay, so Otis, you can make me a nature check.
Okay.
Jorhan and Micah, I would like survival checks from you, please.
Oh, that ain't bad at all. Okay. 23 for nature.
Okay.
13 plus survival. That's a plus 3. 16.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Ardris, roll me investigation. Or perception, your choice.
That's a 10.
Okay. As you were exiting the cabin, Micah, you had the 16, right, for survival? As you're exiting the cabin, you don't see, it doesn't look like anything was directly around the cabin during the night. You don't see like tracks or something like that. As you keep moving forward, I will keep that 16 in mind. Due to Otis, what did you get for nature again?
23.
Yeah. Due to between Otis's like understanding of nature and Jorhan's understanding of the path, this process goes fairly smoothly. You're able to move around the woods. There's a couple times that you have to actually leave the main paths and go down like little kind of rabbit trails or goat trails or whatever to find specific like groves that are cultivated for like the Solomon seal. But after 2 hours, there have been no attacks from any animals, and you have successfully gotten all of the ingredients you were looking for.
All done?
It appears so. So do you wish to make our way back to the campus, or I must admit I'm not very familiar with this area. Are there any other places you all would like to stop by? No, we did not eat this morning. Well, we have time, so whatever you all would like to do, really.
Don't tempt me, Brain. I might just do what I want.
You hungry?
Who's he asking? He's asking the group?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm always hungry, kid.
Kind of like looks around. Does he see like maybe like some fruits or grapes or herbs or something like that that looks edible around.
Make a nature check.
Okay. That's a 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Yeah, probably not.
You do. You do. You see some bushes that have lots of berries on them. You see this one type of flowering plant that you think that you can eat the petals of the flowers. So you do see like a couple of these kind of things.
Okay. Then Micah's going to pick up the grapes and the flowers and present this to the group. It says, maybe? Hungry?
I thank you for the offer, but I think I will wait a bit longer. I'm afraid I'm not really the foraging type. I do thank you for the offer.
Ooh. He looks
Otis,
towards it.
go ahead.
He looks
I was listening. You, big dog, you.
Like,
I can wait.
he just kind of like moves the items around. It's like, oh, maybe what's some?
Who's next? Or is he just in general?
He just said general.
Okay, well, Otis is definitely grabbing a handful and shoving it in his mouth. A true one with his mouth full just goes, "Thanks, kid."
Jarhan, are you partaking of the berries or the flowers?
No.
Okay. And he kind of puts it down and sits in the remaining pieces next to the row for anybody else that wants to take. He's hungry around the time they can pick some up. And he just like wiped off his hands and starts moving.
Okie doke. So you are going back to the cabin, or you're going back towards Cormac? Are you leaving the woods, or is there something else you want to do here?
How about going to Cormac? I mean, not much for Otis to do here.
Yeah, I'm presuming the same.
Okay. Jarhan and Ardris are good to go. Awesome. All right, you begin to make your way out of this wood. It's not too far to get to the edge of the wood, and then you know that you have, about 4 hours of walking kind of to do. So as you're leaving right now, you're gonna get there about mid-afternoon. But that will give you extra time if you want to go talk to Elliot to drop off the dandelion root that you got specifically for him, or if there's anything that happens on the road. What is kind of your order of walking?
Ooh.
Ardris in the front.
I mean,
You're
it's a
6
wide enough
foot tall,
road you
so-
could go like two abreast pretty easily. Just if someone comes, you might need to move to the side.
Otis will hang in the back, somewhere in the back.
I guess I'm in the middle, probably.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on you, Pipsqueak.
I'll say that Mary's hanging with Micah just so that y'all are together.
Okay.
Kellen, are you in front or behind those two? Oh, sorry, sure.
Ardris wanted to be in the front, so I assume I'm probably, I guess, I'd probably prefer to be behind Micah and Mary.
Okay. Cool. Okay, here's what I need. Ardris, I need a D100 roll, please. Otis, I need a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, he doesn't eat, fam. He doesn't eat. He has no idea what's considered good.
Nah, I figured, but Otis had his reasons for eating it. He could have checked.
If I rolled a D100 before.
Yo, I'm out of here.
Someone's got to do it.
Is that a 5 or 6?
D10, I think this is.
That's a 6. All right, so that's a 13 on the Constitution saving.
57.
57. Copy that. 1 moment. What did you get, Otis?
13 on the Constitution saving throw.
Bad news.
Yeah, he's doubled over sick.
Yeah, you are, buddy. All right, so you're going to take
Hit me.
5 points of damage,
Ain't bad.
and you have the poison condition.
Also ain't bad.
Ooh.
Do I have anything that could help with this?
I know I took. Oh, you know what? I messed up. I could have casted resistance.
Oh.
You can't cast resistance after you've already eaten it.
Mm-hmm. That's
like
what I'm
you'd
saying.
already
I
eaten it. You
goofed.
can't do anything about it.
Yep.
57, you say. 57.
Zombies attack when forced.
That took 9 damage.
5.
5 damage. Okay. So it's gonna be something there. 39. Okay.
Sorry, give me just one moment. I gotta scroll to delete. All right, as you are traveling down the road, Ardris, you are the first person to see this. There is a woman traveling the opposite direction as you. She is currently by herself, but she is wearing super brightly colored robes in a wide variety of patterns that when you look, you say, this is a fortune teller.
Oh.
And as she approaches, she gives like a friendly little wave. She seems to be in a fantastic mood. And she's like, hello. Hello.
Hello. It looks like the day has been quite well for you.
The weather is phenomenal.
It's very. It appears that you may be a seer of some sort, perhaps a divination expert, person like that.
Oh, are you interested in the future?
Well, yeah, Father says to not dwell too much on what could be, but I've always been curious of the art.
Interesting. I tell you what, I am feeling in such a good mood today. I will give you one for free.
It's a great kindness.
May I have your hand?
Of course.
So she grabs your hand and she starts kind of looking at your palm, kind of manipulates it around, takes a moment, kind of gently touches your head, as long as like you're not like, hey, don't do this. Like she'll kind of reach forward gently, touch your head, kind of move it side to side and look at different things. And then her eyes close and she gets very, very still for a moment. And then after sitting there for a moment, she goes, I can only see the 7. Where is the 8? And then she kind of blinks back to herself and is like, so sorry, dear. No idea what I said. Hopefully it was good news.
It was curious. And you have no memory of any of it at all?
No, actually, I mean, I did read your fortune right. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. I mean, I'd be absolutely happy to read your fortune if that's what you're interested in.
Sure. Perhaps there was some sort of problem. We could try it again if you like.
Sure. And so she grabs your hand, she examines it very carefully. She does the identical kind of thing as she's looking at your head. And when she closes her eyes, she gets very still and then says, I can see the 7. There is no 8. Where is the 8? And then again kind of comes to herself.
Micah's going to cast detect magic on the lady, just to be able to see what is happening during that time frame.
Sure. As you cast detect magic, you can see that there is divine magic involved.
8?
Do I believe her, or do I feel like I'm being manipulated?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
It's a 15.
You do not believe that this is a show or something that she's putting on. I don't know how much Ardris himself believes that like the future can be seen, but you believe that she believes it for sure.
Yes, I will. Thank you for your time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you want me to read your fortune?
No, thank you.
Any of the rest of you?
Sure.
You just hear Otis go, ugh.
Sure. Because he's very curious about this. So he sees the divination aspect come forward. So he's going to step forward. Like, "Could mine, please?"
So she kneels down next to you and is like, oh, I don't normally read the fortunes for children. One moment. And she takes your hand. She gently looks at your side of your head. She closes her eyes and gets very still and says, they're not looking for you. And then again comes to herself. This time she seems to know that she's done it.
Who's not looking for me?
I'm so sorry, dear. I don't know the answer to that question. If you want to pay me 10 gold, I would be willing to try again to find some other information for you, kind of fine-tune that idea. This is just the universe's impression of the future.
To clarify, I know class-wise you start off with some gold, but do I have 10 gold on me?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you wanted to spend 10 gold, it would be the majority of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say you have 10 gold on you.
He says, okay. And then he takes out 10 gold. It's like, here you go.
I feel like a bad person for taking advantage of a child with gold that they don't understand, but like...
he doesn't get it.
So she pockets the gold and is like, very generous. Very generous. It's always nice to see the youth interested in the divine and the future. One moment. And this time, because... Oh, sorry.
I just would like to pay close attention to her this time.
Okay. This time, because you have paid, she actually like sits down, pulls out some items, like some crystals, and makes kind of a circle around you, and then has you she holds onto both of your hands and is kind of staring where your third eye is. She's kind of just staring at it. And as she looks, give me a second. So I'm roll for. Ooh! As she looks at you, she says, there is much about your past you do not know. There is much about your future that is still being written. They are not looking for you, but it is up to you if you want to be found.
But who? Who is looking for who?
And she kind of looks at you, and her eyes go black, like kind of white and smoky for a little bit. Like she's truly concentrating on your question. She goes, it has been hidden even from me. Someone is hiding you. But they are not looking. It is up to you if you want to be found.
Hiding?
I'm afraid, and she starts gathering up herself, I'm afraid that's all I know about that. Very interesting. It's so rare to see such a convoluted future for one so young. Can't have done much.
Convoluted? What's that?
Like complicated, mixed up, not easy to see. Normally a child, I look into their future and I can see, oh, love, romance, a farm, whatever. A lot of people's futures are fairly linear. Yours, I can barely see the next step.
Okay.
Well, this has been fun.
What about
appreciate your generosity.
me?
Oh, sorry. One moment. Ardris, you said you were paying attention. What were you looking for?
Just to make sure that she is actually doing some sort of magical ability and not some sort of scam or manipulation.
Based on your previous insight check, I would say that still holds right now. She believes it for sure. She does not seem to be trying to deceive or guile Micah into giving her more money now that she's done this. Like, she's not being like, but give me another 10 gold and I'll tell you. You know, she's just like, she charges a fee so that she can survive. but she's not seeming to take it down. Otis.
Do I get a freebie?
Oh, I've already given my freebie. You have to understand, like, not so easy to see the future. It takes a certain amount of.
And it's not so easy for me to cast Firebolt.
Ardris will hand the woman 10 gold pieces.
Ooh, bad.
Didn't
news.
ask you for that.
Sorry, what was that last thing you said? About Firebolt?
It's
Alright.
not easy for me to
She
cast
comes
Firebolt.
to you. She comes to you. She puts her hand on your forehead, and you see her eyes roll back in her head, and she speaks in a deep voice, and she says, "I see a fiery death in your future." Ardris, you were watching. I will let you make a new insight check for that.
Let's go. Curse
As
this
she kind
man.
of snaps back to yourself, she will offer her hand and say, I do apologize. Sometimes it just comes on along like that.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. You see the exact same thing you saw before. As she's leaving, all of you but Otis now have inspiration.
Oh,
I am
Otis?
A-okay with that.
You have a curse.
I knew it. I'm down for it. I'm 1000% down for it.
Now that I've seen her do this a few times, do I feel like this was a woman or some sort of hag or fey creature?
You get the impression that this is a sorceress.
I love it.
You've got to learn to watch your tongue, Otis, when you meet strangers wandering the roads. She had no guards, therefore she is most likely more powerful than us. That is risky behavior.
I do what I want.
I have messaged you what your curse is, because I don't think you would know that. Your character does not know this. This is player information.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With this kind of unfortunate ending to an otherwise pleasant interaction, she kind of gathers her stuff. It's like, well, safe travels and all that. Bye, and takes off fairly quickly. She's like, I'm not going to hang out anymore. As you continue moving forward, the weather remains nice. You are not really coming across. You see every once in a while you see like a traveling family or like a roaming bard, but it's not people that you're really interacting with. It's just kind of like, hey, what's up? And around about 2 p.m., you find yourself back in the city of Cormac. The village of Cormac.
Should we go and return these bags as well as drop the items off?
He nods. But you can definitely tell that he's like halfway split between the news that he was given and the news that Otis is given. So he's constantly looking at Otis to see his body language and such. But yeah, he nods.
As you head to like this kind of quartermaster general store area where Elliot was set up, you see there's a small sign on like the post that leads to the porch that says, at the academy, if you need to find me. Otherwise, help yourself, leave the money on the table. So you can tell that this is a very open, like, if people need something, no one's cheating him and grabbing stuff and running. Like, people just come in, leave their money, and take what they need.
Alright, well, let's leave the things behind and make our way.
You know that the majority of the things are supposed to go to the academy. The only thing that Elliot specifically requested was a Dinnerland route.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was you were sent by the academy to get.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that we'll leave that one. I guess we will take the bags to carry the stuff with still.
For sure.
So then she'll just leave the route behind and well, let's make our way back. With luck, we'll get there before it's too dark outside.
Okay.
As you make your way up the hill, and you make your way back to the city, it is an interesting feeling, I think, for Micah in particular, for the first time you are coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see the familiar sight of the gate and the walls and the building in the back. And I'm not sure emotionally maybe what Mike is feeling, but I'd say that there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of you, this is your first time coming back to a new home, so it's kind of like you're seeing it from the outside again for the second time. As you enter, you can see there are lots of students coming in from whatever they've been doing over the weekend, the little jobs that they've been sent out on. Various people are running around. There's people who are playing in like the courtyard area. They've got like Ye Fantasy Hacky Sack going on. All sorts of like, it seems like a really festive and kind of like happy environment as people have successfully completed whatever they're working on and are now relaxing, kind of a weekend way.
Let's go and finish up, I suppose, unless you all wish to stop and fraternize.
No. Back. Turn in items.
Otis calls.
Well then, let's go.
All right. You head over to the groundskeeper's hut where Drogon is sitting outside. You see that Elliot is leaving him to head back towards Cormac. So he's currently leaving. They just finished up having like a late lunch kind of thing. And Elliot turns and looks and he goes, "Oh, hello then. Did you find everything you were looking for?"
We did, yes. We left the dandelion root in your shop as well.
Bless you.
Just anything else that you need from us?
Oh, no, I don't think of anything right now, but if I think of something, I know who to call.
Of course. Well, excuse us.
Yes, of course. Bye. Blows a kiss at his husband, heads on out. Drogon's sitting there on the outside. Like, I see you all came back. That's good. Don't look any worse for the wear.
Otis obviously does.
Oh, he does?
Well, I mean, it's not something you can visually see.
Hmm.
There's no like aura of curse on you.
Well,
You
not
look
the
like
curse,
normal.
but the poison.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
He looks at you and is like, actually, belay that last statement. What's going on with you?
Ate something in the woods.
I would have thought a person of your interest in nature, and he starts getting out some stuff that would help to settle your stomach a bit, and he seems to be very amused that you've ventured off into a forest, and as far as he can tell, the only negative downside is the druid ate some poison berries. So he's like, why don't you sit down here? I'll make you something that'll help.
Was I supposed to say no?
I'm sorry.
You didn't do nothing wrong, kid. It was good.
I do not think it was good. I think this is the very opposite of good.
Shut up!
All right. Well, if you will leave this here with me, sometimes I'll ask you to drop it off at other professors or other rooms, but today I can take care of all of this. I do appreciate it. You've got the rest of your afternoon if you have something else you want to do. Mr. Otis, if you'll hang back for a bit. Yeah. And so he is going to give you some stuff to help combat the effects of food poisoning. And seeing how much like you are kind of suffering right now, you're like, maybe this is a conversation for another time. I tell you what, why don't you get some good rest today? Tomorrow, I believe I'll be seeing you in class.
Okay. Fine.
And as you all move to whatever leisure activities you would like to do with the remaining hours of daylight, knowing that tomorrow is the beginning of a brand new week, and you'll begin on the individual classes that each of you have signed up for. That is where we're going to close today's episode.
That was great.
wow, what an awesome session. So once again, thank you everyone who came by and for watching our content. Again, we always appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed it. And once again, we will be back this Saturday, of course, for Lords of Faerun. In case you missed some of this episode, you can watch it on Twitch. However, we should be able to also get this up on our YouTube channel within some time this week. So keep an eye out for that. Normally, those have higher video and audio quality. And we look forward to see you all next Tuesday for episode 9. We're almost at the 1-0 mark where we reach the episode 9 of Rivenwood Academy. Farewell for now.
All right, y'all.
Bye.